to move outside so those of us who have a speaking engagement can talk and not have to interrupt your conversation. It's a very long cord. Yes!
You should talk to her too, maybe.
I was trying to. I'm trying to. Really, really trying to. There's a lot of people to control in this room. I don't know if I'll be able to do it.
I started recording, it was too good.
But I will just keep yelling. Welcome to the Heisenbergen room! Heisenbergen! That is how you say it, I believe. Hello, all of the summiters of the live. Thank you for finding a space to get a seat for my talk. As the MC who introduced me might have told you, all right, that would be me. Hi, my name's Joe Wilson, and I'm in a band with my cat. We only make album covers, no music, because neither of us know how to make music. But every year, Mike gets Christmas presents mailed to him, like every year. And sometimes the packages are just presents for Mike, with a card to Mike that I read to him. He just blinks. I've had some people call me like, oh, you're a good cat dad. It's really more of a shitty roommate situation. Really doesn't even, we don't look alike. Mike has his own Facebook page, and he is friends with people that I do not know. My cat has his own friends on social media. I think social media platforms are kind of like neighborhoods, and that we as individuals and cats build the neighborhood that we want to live in. Like, there is no Twitter community. There is no Periscope community. There is no Snapchat community. Greetings, welcome. I could do shout outs, that kind of a talk. Cool, sure. I think that you build the social media neighborhood that you want to live in. I don't think that there is a Twitter community. You just walk in and go, hi everybody, I'm here. I think you build your own. Twitter's kind of like a community you can park your car on the front lawn and nobody really cares. Lots of yelling. Facebook's kind of like a gated community that tells you what kind of grass you can grow. Also lots of yelling. And your parents live nearby. That was my one slide, so Snapchat is kind of like, actually that's my second slide. Snapchat is kind of like having coffee with your neighbors every day, and if you miss a day, you will miss something. But they're all great places to tell stories, and stories are actually the oldest technology there is. I moved to Los Angeles from Boston to tell stories as a writer, and I spent a long time waiting for the entertainment industry to pick me. After a while, it started to look like, hey, you know what? I might not ever get to tell a story as an employee of the entertainment industry. And then I started like, this is not the plan. So I got kind of frustrated at being powerless, and then I got angry, and then I got an idea. I'm just going to start telling stories. So I didn't want to work with actors on the first thing I made, so I worked with Tickle Me Elmo. I am the director of Tickle Me Elmo's celebrity sex tape called Tickle Me Harder. I spent $100 on sheets, and I got 3 Tickle Me Elmo dolls, and 9 hours of shooting alone, just me and the 3 cackling Elmos. It was really good, because that way I could concentrate on like lighting and the cameras, and I wouldn't have an actor going, oh man,
Did you rent a house in the valley?
No lie, I shot it in a bungalow in Hollywood, and I'm sure many of you have seen it. The scene where the one Tickle Me Elmo is standing on the ladder, looking at the other two Tickle Me Elmos going at it on the bed inside. When I was shooting that, my neighbors had a couple questions. They're like, "What are you doing?" I'm shooting a video. I'm like, all right. But Tickle Me Elmo, like, it's still, I don't know, it's like 600,000 views on it now, whatever it is, and it still gets comments. Many of them are just WTF. or WTF did I just watch? That's another one. Or you just ruined my childhood. So I started working with other people on their stuff and started making my own shorts with actors, not Muppets, and not sex tapes. And that was my last one. Mom's proud. And I was making my living as a private investigator working in the intellectual property field. That's how I was paying the bills to pay for all the Tickle Me Elmo porn I was making. And the challenge with the PI gig is that you had to call people all over the world and ask them questions that you had absolutely no right to ask. But you would use what is called a pretext. And a pretext is a story that is designed to allow you to ask questions that you should not be able to ask. And in 11 years of private investigating, I told thousands of people stories that they completely believed. They had to, because that literally was my job. Just lie on the phone all day. Hi, I'm a fake name from a fake company that doesn't exist. Can I talk to the person that I researched on the internet? And then, because I'd like to lie to them and get information for giant companies. But the challenge of it was that you couldn't just ask a bunch of questions. You had to have conversation to divert attention away from the questions. So it's 2009, and it's the height of Vampire Diaries and True Blood and Twilight, all of which I still have never seen. And there's an investigation I'm doing. And the trademark is mafia related. It's not like the mafia has a trademark, it was like a mafia term. And the person that I'm talking to, that I'm investigating, that I'm completely lying to, I'm trying to throw in a little conversation to divert their attention away from the question. And I say, hey, there's all these vampire shows and there hasn't been a mafia show in a while. Where's the vampire mob show? And I was just like, vampire mob. Wrote it down right away, registered the domain. And I told an actor I knew about it, and he was like, really? Vampires and the mafia? Really? I'm like, no, it's not what you think. It's not like, hey, can we get some more freaking blood for this freaking sauce? Over here? With the fangs and the who and the ha? So I'm like, no, it's not like that. It's just flawed individuals, some of whom are members of organized crime, a few who are vampires, no puns, no romance, no jokes about brushing your fangs, none of that shit. So I shot the first part of Vampire Mob on my dime, and I got a cast. I just got lucky. It was friends of friends, acquaintances, actors I'd seen on stage, and I cast everybody without auditions. Because I hate auditions, because I've done auditions, and they're bullshit. So it was much easier to cast that way. The crew, now the cast were actors from The Simpsons, Criminal Minds, Twin Peaks, The Sopranos. I got Parks and Recreation. I got really, really lucky. And the crew were just pals of mine who had also never gone to film school and had not a lot of shooting experience. So we're like, yeah, sure, yeah, you do. And it was a lot of this. It was a lot of me with a camera, another person with a camera, another person with a camera, and I'm like, can you get something like this? And then you get both of them, and I'm gonna do whatever I can. Go. But we shot it, we made it, put it out on YouTube, and all of a sudden I was hearing from people who liked my work. That was not an experience that I had in Los Angeles. It was a lot of no. It was a lot of nah, don't think so, no. And after you spend years and years getting close, and it's time to move on. So I heard, this is the thing with social media like bent my brain, and it has for years, because I was in that mindset of like, you know, you put out a show and then you do that thing that everybody is like, here's my thing, here's my thing, here's my thing, look at my thing. Hey, look at my thing. And I heard from a mom who was in an emergency room with her son who had been sick a lot. And she's DMing me on Twitter, and as I'm reading it, I can see she is just having a shitty life at the moment. And she thanked me for making Vampire Mob, for making a story that made her laugh at a time when she really needed it. And I was just like, wow. I thought I was just selling this thing, I was just making a story. No's. And I kept hearing from people who were like, thank you for making me laugh. And it changed my idea of the value of a story. I used to think it was about views. And stories, like, they become a part of your life. Like, they help get through stuff. And so I wanted to make more of the Vampire Mob show, and I didn't have the money because I blew it on the first one. So I went to the community who helped liking what I made, and I'm like, do you guys want to make more? And I did it on Kickstarter, and I didn't hit the goal, and I lost all the money, and had to start all over again. But I did it on my own website with PayPal buttons, took a few months, raised $10,000, shot season 2, longer script, longer cast, bigger cast, much nicer cameras, much nicer. And again, we put it out, and now it's like 70 minutes long, and I start having meetings with companies. And there's one production company that has a bunch of TV shows that they want to help us make it, but they want me to have creative control, and I believe them. Don't ever believe that. They're lying. So I wrote season 3, which was supposed to be 6 15 to 20 minute episodes. I cast Cheryl Lee, who was Laura Palmer, and Kimmy Robertson, who was Lucy Moran, both on Twin Peaks. And Chris Mulkey was going to come back a third time, so we had 3 people from Twin Peaks in Vampire Mob. And I'm on social media now, and I don't have any, I have nothing. Like, I don't have a new episode, I can't, like, here's the script, look at this, it's great, read it. That doesn't work. And all of a sudden I'm like, oh, this is what social media is. It's like conversations, it's stories, it's a neighborhood. And I started having neighbors and friends, and it wasn't, like, I never thought fans, but I definitely thought audience, and now I was thinking community. So the production company, after me waiting for months and months and months, they decided to go in a different direction. And then a few months later, Marsha Wallace, who was the mother-in-law who moves in with her hitman vampire son-in-law for eternity, passed away. And I didn't want to rewrite the story, and I didn't want to recast it, so I came up with an idea to keep her character alive, sort of. I went back to the community and I asked them to help me make something I had never made before, which was a graphic novel. I don't know anything about comic books, and I had to learn fast and hard, but that's exactly what I did. I'm adapting the season 3 script into a series of graphic novels. The first one's out, the second one comes out this year, and it's crowdfunded. And the cool thing is that there are members of the community now who are drawn in the book. Like, I had them send pictures, and so they're characters or they're in scenes, and when they get the physical book, like, hey, I'm in this thing. So social media genuinely has completely changed my life as a storyteller. It's bent my brain, and I think that the thing about the lessons that you learn is that, like, on social media, I'm sitting on the front porch of a small theater telling stories and chatting with neighbors as they walk by, and some go inside and watch what I make on the little screen, maybe pick up a copy of Vampire Mob issue 1 on the way out. And that's kind of, and it's built. And I like to keep things light on social media. I've done enough ranting and debating for a lifetime, and I have a gaggle of smoking bridge carcasses behind me. So and Snapchat sort of became the place, like, that was the most fun. playing around with filters, like stuff I wouldn't do anywhere else. And I also have 3 nieces and a nephew who live 3,000 miles away, and this was the first place that they were spending time with me, which resulted in a lot less swearing. Because they were like, hey, Uncle Joe's swearing again. Fuck, kid, shut up. So I think that we build the social media neighborhood we want to live in. That we are not going to the Twitter house. We are not going, it's like the people that I know in this room, literally almost everyone, who came to see me talk. That's what this is. That's what social media is. And this next part is kind of sad, but it has a happy ending. Spoiler alert. Last year, my wife was diagnosed with cancer, and I'm all over social media, and we can't say anything on social media because we have a lot of bad news cold calls to make. Hi, yeah, how you doing? Great. Okay, so, and then it took weeks. So I'm on Snapchat, I'm on everything, and I can't say anything. And in a way, it helped to have a backstage. It helped to have a place to keep that away from social media. And when we finally made all the calls, like we hit everybody, like there were lists, like we hit everybody, because we didn't want somebody to just find out on social media. And so I do it on Snapchat, and I do it all by text. I just write snap after snap, because I didn't want to start a new trend called Ugly Crying Face Fridays. That is not the move. So then the challenge is now, well, how do you be on social media while you're kicking cancer's ass? And Kathy and I talked about it, and we're like, definitely going to be backstage. We're going to need that. And we have friends and family and neighbors watching. So how do you show it? And pessimism has no place in a fight against cancer. It also technically has no place in life except for comedy. I think pessimism and comedy, they need each other. So I'm posting pictures of Kathy at chemo, and she's smiling. And we're smiling in the selfies, and we're smiling in frozen snaps. If you follow me on Snapchat, you know what that is. And it started to bend our brains when my phone was in my pocket to be more positive. And it by trying to be positive on social media, it made us be more positive all the time, throughout the whole thing. And I posted a link to shirts that say we're all famous to a few people, a couple people have them on. And my internet neighbors spread them, everybody knew about them, they were showing up everywhere, and honestly, we needed a little help, and it helped pay a lot of medical bills. So for those here and watching wherever you can see this, thank you. I just want you to think about the individuals and not the experts, not the influencers, not what the hot new app is. This is about human beings. This is not, I know lots of people want to make money, but I think if you are a human being online, on social media, you're going to end up making a lot more money. So build the social media neighborhood you want to live in, and tell a fun story. Have fun. If you're doing this and it's not fun, stop. What are you doing? Unless you're getting paid and you hate it, well then that's different. But if you're not getting anything and you're putting I just hate social media. My advice, stop using it. It's very easy. But thank you very much for your time, and I will be outside.